The miracle of Pakistani Tekken. I did hear that this is a really cool story.
In 2019, Pakistan surprised everyone when they proved they had some of the best Tekken players in the world. Arslan Ash won both EVOs that year, earning himself a Red Bull sponsorship. Atif Butt and Awais Honey would get first and second place respectively at Tokyo Tekken Masters, and Bilal would win the ultra-stacked LCQ event at the TWT Finals.
Okay.
The running joke was that getting past visa issues was harder than winning the tournament itself. The Pakistani passport ranked the 4th lowest for visiting other countries, which is why Arslan Ash famously got stuck in transit for 3 days on his way to winning EVO Japan.
Yes, there was a time when I lose all my hope and I decided to go back home.
So how does Pakistan, a country that doesn't even have official distributors for PlayStation or Xbox, get good enough to beat the best in the world? There's no better way to find out than to actually go there.
This is like out
so I
of
went
nowhere,
to
right?
Lahore, which is the
Oh,
second
that's
largest
fucking
city
cool.
and home to the best fighting gamers in the country.
He actually
I was
went.
warmly greeted by the local commentators, Soul Dragger and Silver Fox, who taught me about the country and the local scene.
Let's go, Gerald.
Yeah.
You came at the right time. I needed this break.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, we're here.
The first thing to know about Lahore is that it's a center for the arts and culture of the Punjab region. It's the birthplace for much of the country's filmmaking, literature, and music. So it's no surprise this is where a culture for gaming could grow as well. Lahore is precisely where you'd have a liberal arts university inviting FGC people to provide a guest lecture about Tekken and esports. There is even an open tournament held in the classroom afterwards. But to have a culture for gaming, you still need to have games. Pakistan has no official distributor for the most popular consoles, so these consoles and games are imported and sold in the gray market. But imported goods are not cheap, especially when their prices are not adjusted for the country's purchasing power.
If you get a graphics card or a console, it's now considered a luxury item and taxed like that. So PlayStation 5 is probably...
Bro, this would happen at Nvidia when we would have a contest or something, and someone would win like a fucking $2,000 GPU, and if they were in a country like Pakistan, they would have to pay just to pick up the item a luxury tax that was too high for them to afford. So they couldn't even, sometimes we couldn't even send it to pay the luxury tax. I don't fucking control it. It's not my fucking thing. I'm just saying there's a problem that would come up. And also generally, when you're doing a corporate giveaway, they've got your fucking budget down to an exact fucking penny of what you can give out, and you can't just you can't just fucking pay it, bro, out of your own pocket. Not me, all right? I'm just saying this would happen. I think honestly, if I had to remember, they got something in kind that was easier to transfer, but they couldn't get the actual GPU. We would send them one single kind bar and then a post-it note with a smiley on it. We would say, enjoy this.
Price for it is so inflated. It takes a while for it to be accessible to everybody else.
These prices make gaming an extremely expensive hobby, but there is a way for many Pakistani gamers to get video games for free.
Back in those days, I'm sure getting a console for a lot of people was getting it from Saudi Arabia, because a lot of Muslims go to pilgrimage every year.
Saudi Arabia is where the holiest site in Islam is located, the Mecca. Each year, about 1 to 2 million Muslims make a pilgrimage there. The most significant pilgrimage is called the Hajj, which is a religious duty to carry out at least once in a lifetime. Since Pakistan is over 96% Muslim, most people are going to make that trip.
If you're going abroad and you're coming back, it's a custom to bring something for your, especially for the kids, right? And consoles is the easiest no-brainer for any adult who doesn't even, understand what it is. They were readily available and at a good price in Saudi Arabia.
Pakistan inadvertently got introduced to video gaming through a Muslim ritual.
I'm just going to pray my Maghrib prayer.
But the ones who still had no games at home did what everyone else in the world did, go to the arcades.
Here we go.
All right.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is the Level Up Gaming Hub, an arcade which is mostly Tekken with a couple of KOF cabs. There's a lot to soak in here, but the first thing that stood out was this wall of electricity meters in plain sight and these giant batteries on top of the cabinets.
What the fuck?
Pakistan is a country that has historically faced a lot of power issues. There's not a lot of power to go around, which is why we often face blackouts, sometimes multiple times in a day.
This summer, my schedule was 10:15 in the morning, 4:15 in the evening, and then 9:15 at night. So that's 3 hours of power outages that I have to adapt into my schedule. That adds to the cost of setting up a system. So if I'm buying a PS or a PC and I want to play during power outages, I have to set up a UPS system, right? An uninterruptible power supply system.
The next thing I noticed was that
Interesting.
these machines were not coin operated. The cabinets were clearly just running console versions of the game, so I wondered how customers paid. I wasn't ready for the answer.
How did
That
pay?
whole coin-operated system still exists in a certain way. They introduced a sort of honor system. They play like
shit.
first to 10 sets, first to 5 sets. They'd be keeping track of how many times they lost. And once everything was done, they'd report it back to the desk that this is how many games I lost. And as many games as they lost, that was the amount of coins.
That takes so much trust. I'm impressed that that works. For gamers, I feel like you run that, people would scam that system. I mean, maybe it's
Virtual, you know,
maybe you know, if you're going to the same place consistently, then they'll know if you're, you know, you don't want to get thrown out.
Even without a winner stays on coin-based system, they still maintain the arcade competitive spirit where each game is a mini money match. For the hardcore tournament players, there's even a bring your own controller area with smaller low-lag monitors. Another thing I couldn't ignore was the claw grip that many Pakistani players use to press buttons. The first time I saw this up close was when I filmed Arslan Ash practicing in Thailand. Why do Pakistanis play like this?
Like accidentally used to press other buttons, like, yeah.
So this guy's the
So
goat?
then I changed this grip.
Well, this guy's like the goat right now?
Then I have some kind of dead skin on here, and also here I have dead skin. So I think this is the problem with me. So when I used to play like this, I couldn't play because this skin hurts me, you know. So then I adopted this play style.
After Arslan mentioned his wrists, I started to notice that the edge of some of these cabinets had rubbed off exactly where you would place your wrists. Also, the arcade buttons were spaced much further apart than the typical arcade layouts you see elsewhere. These wooden cabinets are unique because they were designed and built by the locals.
जाहिर सी बात है बंडाई ने हमको यहाँ
That's interesting.
आर्केड वगैरह कुछ चीज़ कैबिनेट्स वगैरह तो भेज नहीं सकता, तो हमने खुद अपनी मदद आपके तहत इसको डिज़ाइन किया और इसको बनाया. तो हमारे लड़कों के लिए ये भी एक नई चीज़ थी, तब गेम भी न्यूट्रल हो गई थी, कोई किसी के हाथ या बटन वगैरह नहीं दे
So they
सकता
all
था.
use the same.
तो
It's so
इससे
interesting.
लोगों को भी फ़ायदा हुआ, लोगों की प्रैक्टिस
Because of the cabinets.
तो हमने कोशिश की कि अच्छे से अच्छा मटेरियल लगाएं इसके ऊपर.
He really helped us make those cabinets,
Yeah.
the crash cabinets, and then we bought it from him, and then we put them in many gaming houses. He's pretty good at the woodwork and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's the founder of the Crash Body in Pakistan.
Okay, wow.
This is the Itra shopping center where they build arcade cabinets and sell them. You can also find imported games and accessories here, but what caught my eye were all the scraps from old gaming machines. Because gaming equipment is expensive
God.
and scarce, repair becomes a necessity.
Right.
But without official repair centers, it's difficult to source the parts. Third-party repair centers like Gaming Tech Pakistan rely on scavenging parts from broken equipment to fix consoles, arcade boards, or controllers.
So many red
If we
wing
come here,
Xboxes.
he's probably gonna have a board for King of Fighters 95. Anything, you basically just come here, you tell them that this is the retro
some
thing
GPUs
that I
in
need
there?
fixed. These are your guys.
This resourcefulness has made gaming possible for as many people as possible. If a cabinet needs to support a 6-button game, drill some more holes. If a game doesn't need all the buttons, put them in an arcade stick.
लोगों को यहाँ पे बहुत मुश्किल है इन चीज़ों की, खास तौर पे ये जो पार्ट्स हैं ये जब वहाँ से इधर आते हैं.
The only thing is, this is incredible of how they made it happen. I would love to see more. Hopefully they have a little bit on, like, against all odds, they were able to create a scene. How did they become so fucking good? Like, it's so cool that they did this where it was financially difficult and then they became fucking world class. That's so
जितनी
sick.
कीमत का होता है उससे डबल कीमत में पहुँच जाता है. आधे से तकरीबन 70% लोग तो ऐसे हैं जिनके पास इक्विपमेंट ही नहीं है इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे कम्पीट करने के लिए. तो वो देसी यहाँ पे जो भी चीज़ मिलती है उसका बना के उस पे खेलते हैं, प्रैक्टिस करते हैं. उनका शौक देखें आप.
I mean, there's a similar story with Korea and StarCraft where Korea, they weren't able to import consoles, and so they started doing PC games, and then they set up these PC cafes where you could cheaply play video games. And one of the only games that you could easily pirate and run on LAN was StarCraft Brood War. And so it was running on all these PC cafes. People were playing 24/7, and they were grinding with each other. And suddenly they became by far the best in the world, set up a whole scene. And now, like, you know, decades later, Korea is still like a fucking world leader in esports because of like that. Or yeah, AoE won in Vietnam. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Geography and culture and economics lead to esports success down the line. As a Bandai Namco investor, I am appalled. Yeah, I mean, this is all very beautiful and heartwarming, but really, I think a couple of lawyers should kick down the door, clean this place out, slap them all with cease and desist, if not jail time, okay? Huge fines. If it were Smash Bros, they would. You notice, I saw broken Xboxes, broken PlayStations, I saw GPUs, I see fight sticks. I don't see one fucking Nintendo. And that's because they'll get fucking gunned down, dude.
But as much as I love Tekken and competitive fighting games, I thought calling it a miracle was a bit much. But then I went to Lahore City Square and saw this.
Oh, he's famous.
Many thanks to the Pakistani FGC for helping me make this video and bearing with me every time I said a place reminded me of Dark Souls. This was Gerald from Corey Gaming. Thanks for watching.
Guy who just played Dark Souls visiting Pakistan. Getting a real Dark Souls vibe from this country. That was great. I like that one a lot. I like that video a lot. Good recommendation.
Agent 47 with that AK-47.